Good morning. Hello students. This is Dr. Pallavi Gupta. I will teach healthcare law. Today I will take up how the hospitals are registered and regulated, how the tissues bank are registered and regulated, the functions, powers, and constitution of various authorities, and the offences under this act. These are the topics to be discussed today. Punishment for offences, constitution of the appropriate authority, regulation and restriction of the hospitals. Section 10, 11 and 12. These are related to the regulation of hospitals and tissues. It says that only the hospital which is registered one shall conduct or associate with or help in the storage, removal or transplantation of any human organ or tissue or both. Only the registered medical practitioner shall conduct any activity relating to the removal, storage, or the transplantation of any human organ or tissue or both at a place which, which is registered under this act. And regarding the place, it is said that the place shall be used only for the therapeutic purpose, which is involved for the removal, storage, or transplantation of any human organ or tissue or both. For the tissue banks, it is said only the tissue bank which is registered under this act shall carry out any activity relating to recovery, screening, testing, processing, storage, and distribution of the tissues. Although some exceptions are there regarding the eyes and ears, uh, if there is a removal in case of the removal of eyes or the eyes or the ears from the dead body of any donor, the place can be the other one. Means if the place it is not used only for the therapeutic purpose, it can be other one, but it shall be by the registered medical practitioner only. Section 11 impose a duty on the medical registered person that no donor or the person who is empowered to give authority for the removal of any human organ shall authorize the removal of any human organ or tissue or both for any other purpose which is not therapeutic purpose. Means the donor as well as the person who is authorized to for the removal and transplantation of human organ or tissue will do the work only for therapeutic purpose. Only the registered medical practitioner shall undertake the removal or the transplantation of any human organ or tissue or both unless he has explained all the possible effects, complications, and hazards to the donor and the recipient asset. I mean, this is the duty of the medical registered practitioner to aware the donor and the recipient about the consequences and the risk which is involved in the removal of the organ and the transplantation of the organ before removing the organ and transplantation of this. As in the case of uh, Tejraj versus Director of Health Service in 2012, it was told that unless registration for a hospital is secured, a surgical operation of transplantation of human organ in such a hospital is not permissible. The Act and rules, however, do not provide that individual surgeons who would be undertaking such surgical operations are required to be specifically authorized by the appropriate authority. The constitution of the several authorities which is involved in the removal and transplantation of the human organ and tissues. Section 13 is talking about constitution of appropriate authority. Who will appoint appropriate authority? It is the central government. It will appoint the appropriate authority for the union territories, and the state government shall appoint the appropriate authority for their states. There may be one or more officer. The appropriate authority shall perform the several functions. For example, it will grant the registration or renew the registration of the hospitals and tissue banks. It may suspend or cancel the registration of the hospitals and tissue banks. It will enforce various standards for the hospital or the tissue banks which is involved in the removal, storage, or transplantation of any human organ, and the tissue bank, which is engaged in the recovery, screening, testing, processing, storage, and distribution of the tissues. Appropriate authority may investigate any complaint of the breach of any provision of this act and will take appropriate action. It will inspect tissue banks time to time. It will inspect hospital time to time for the examination of the quality of transplantation and the follow medical care to the person who have undergone transplantation and person from whom organs are removed. It will undertake other important actions or the measures. Appropriate authority will perform several functions also. For example, this court is having the power of the civil court, and for the purpose of summoning any person, for the purpose of calling any person who is in possession of any information relating to violation of the provision of this act. It may say to produce the documents, means a discovery and production of any documents which is required to be this any case, and issue such warrant for any place suspended to be including in unauthorized removal, procurement, or transplantation of human organs or tissue or both, or any other matter. Meaning thereby appropriate authority is having a power of civil court regarding several things. Under this case of Jeevan Rot versus CBI, it was says that senior house officer is not empowered to investigate the offences under the Act. Investigation in terms of Section 13 must be conducted by any authorized officer, means appropriate authority may authorize any officer. Before moving that, we have to discuss uh, about the advisory committee which is constituted to advise the appropriate authority to discharge this function, and this advisory committee shall be constituted by the central government and the state government as the required, and this committee will be for the 2 years. In this advisory committee, there will be one administrative officer, two medical officer, one officer will be appointed by the ministry or the Department of Health and Family Welfare, two eminent social workers, in which one there will be one woman worker, one legal expert, one person of the representative of NGO, and one specialist in the field of human organ transplantation. So these are the person will be in the advisory committee to advise the appropriate authority. Regarding the establishment of national or regional human organ or tissue removal or storage bank, it is told that the central government will establish national human organ and tissue removal and storage network at one place, or it may be another place, and will also establish regional network regarding the same. And there will be one national registry that shall be maintained by the central government for the in this national registry, the details of the organ and the details of the donor and the recipient of the human organ and tissue will be there, and all the information shall be maintained. This registry shall have such information as may be prescribed to an ongoing evaluation of the scientific and clinical status of the human organ and tissue. Regarding the registration of hospitals, Section 14 says that no hospital, including human organ retrieval center, shall commence any activity relating to removal, storage, or transplantation of any human organ or tissue or both for therapeutic purpose after the commencement of this act, unless such hospital is duly registered. Means if any hospital want to conduct the removal or transplantation of the human organ or the tissue, that hospital has to register under this act. It is mandatory. As in the case of Ajay Tezras and Joint Director of the Health Service 2012 says that an elaborate procedure is prescribed for the registration of a hospital. Unless such hospital registration is secured, a surgical operation of the transplantation of human organ in such hospital is not permissible. The Act and rules, however, do not provide that individual surgeons who would undertake surgical operation are required to be specifically authorized by the appropriate authority. Means registration is very much required, and there is a detailed procedure for this. And the procedure is that the application shall be made to the appropriate authority, and appropriate authority has to satisfy that the hospital is in a position to provide such specialized service and facilities. It has all the facilities, and it has skilled manpower and equipment, and it can maintain such a standard. In that case, in this regard, appropriate authority has to satisfy. If appropriate authority is satisfied that such hospital has appointed as a transplant coordinator, and that transplant coordinator is having such qualification as the and the experience which is required, in that case the hospital will be registered for this purpose. As in the case of okay, already that we have already discussed. And regarding the registration of tissue bank, for the tissue bank also it has to be registered. Without registration, tissue bank cannot involve in the recovery, screening, testing, processing, storage, and distribution of issues. It cannot do. And for this also, for the tissue bank also, it has to make application to the appropriate authority in the prescribed manner. And if appropriate authority is satisfied that such tissue bank is in a position to provide such specialized services and facilities, possesses all the required skilled manpower and equipment, and maintain such a standard, the registration shall be made. And after the getting the registration, certificate shall be issued to them. Although if on the application appropriate authority find if it is not satisfied that such hospital or the tissue bank is having the requirement, or having any drawbacks, or not fulfilling the any requirement, in that case application may be rejected. Suspension or cancellation of the registration is also possible in some cases if the appropriate authority on a complaint or in a suo motu notice also issue a notice to any hospital or tissue bank to show cause why the registration should not be suspended or the cancelled for the reason mentioned in the notice. If any complaint received, or if any the case there is a case of violation of the provision of this act, in that case notice can be issued, and reasonable opportunity shall be given to the tissue bank and the hospital to produce their case. Uh, if appropriate authority is not satisfied, with the version of the hospital or the tissue bank, it may suspend the registration for a certain period as it is required, or it may cancel its registration as it deems fit. Appeal. Appeal provision is also mentioned in this act. Means the right has been given to go against the authorization committee or the appropriate authority. If anyone is not satisfied, the agreed person may go to within 30 days from the order, from the date of the receipt of the order. They may go in appeal. They may apply to the central government, and they may apply to the state government as required as per the case. As in the case of Pavan Anand versus Director General of the Health Service. Uh, it was held that even if the statute is silent, oral hearing ought to be granted even at the appellate stage, as there are many open and shut cases which, on a closer examination, are fully explained and are answered. So, this is talking about the opportunity of being heard. Offences and penalties. There are certain cases or the grounds, we can say, on which ground it will think that offense has been committed, or what are the punishment for them. So let us discuss section 18 first. It says that any person who rendered his services or any hospital, and any person who involved in this for the purpose of transplantation, conduct, associate, or help in any manner in the removal of any human organ without the authority shall be punishable with the imprisonment of of 10 years, that is the maximum, and a fine of 25 lakh rupees, that is maximum. Means there is a punishment for the removal of human organ if it is done without the authority. Where any person who is convicted under section 18 subclause 1 is a registered medical practitioner, means violation has been done by registered medical practitioner. Removal or transplantation has been done by registered medical practitioner. In that case, appropriate authority shall inform the respective state medical council to take necessary action and recommend the removal of his name from the register of the council initially for the 3 years if it is the first time offense committed. If it is the uh, continue, in that case it may recommend for the permanent removal of his name from the register. Any person who renders his services to or at any hospital who conducted or associated with or help in any manner in the removal of human or human tissues without the authority shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years and the fine which may extend to 5 lakh. Meaning thereby section 18 says there is a punishment of 10 years in case of removal of human organ or transplantation without authority, and the fine is of 25 lakh. If there is a removal of human tissue, then the human tissue has been removed without the authority. In that case, punishment for the imprisonment is of 3 year maximum, and the fine is of 5 lakh, that is the maximum. And if any medical practitioner is involved, in that case, action will be taken against them and his name may be removed from the register. Punishment for removal of human organ that we have already discussed. That is the in the case of Hitesh Kishore Chandra versus state of Maharashtra. In this case, that says that removal of human organ during the course of medical treatment or operation without any kind of nexus with misuse of the same for transplantation will not come within the ambit of section 18 of the act, meaning thereby if the organ is removed during the medical treatment, it will not cover under this act. Section 19 and 19A. This is dealing with the punishment for commercial dealing in human organ and the illegal dealing in human tissues. All the provisions are similar, so I will discuss accordingly. Uh, if any person makes or receive any payment for the supply of any human organ or the tissue, if any person seeks to find a person willing to supply for payment, payment for any human organ or human tissues, any person offer to supply any human organ or tissue for the payment, or it initiate any arrangement or agreement involve the making of any payment for the supply of any human organ or human tissue, takes part in the, if any person who is in the control of a body of a person, or he takes part in the management of the body of a person, whether it is a society, firm, company, whose activity consists, and initiate any arrangement regarding the to make the payment for the supply of any human organ or the tissue. If any person publish or distribute any advertisement to invite person to supply for payment of any human organ, offer to supply any human organ for the payment, or indicating that advertiser is willing to initiate any arrangement for the payment of any organ or tissue, or any person awaits in the preparation of the false documents, including false affidavit, to establish that the donor is making the donation of the human organ by reason of affection or attachment towards the recipient. So, in these activities are considered as a commercial dealing in human organ or illegal dealing in human organ. The punishment for for commercial dealing, the punishment for commercial dealing in human tissues shall be punishable with imprisonment of maximum 5 years, uh, minimum 5 years, but maximum 10 years, and the fine will be maximum of 25 lakh rupees. And the punishment regarding the illegal dealing in human tissues shall be minimum 1 year, but may extend to 5 years, and the fine will be minimum 5 lakh, and it may up to 25 lakh rupees. As in the case of Linda versus CBI, it was says that the offence which is alleged against the petitioner under section 19 and 20 of the Act are cognizable and non-valuable offence. Means the offence which is mentioned under section 19 and 20 are cognizable offence and non-valuable offence once the complaint was filed within the statutory period for a cognizable non-cognizable offence of which cognizance was taken by the magistrate. The petitioner would not be entitled to seek the protection of section 167 subclause 2 of CRPC, even if it is constitute for the sake of argument that the complaint is not a police report or cannot be treated as such. Means if the case is filed under this act, the petitioner cannot seek the help of CRPC. Section 20. Section 20 is saying if any person contravene any provision of this act or any rule made under this act or any condition of the registration granted thereunder for which no punishment is separately provided under this act shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 5 years or with fine which may extend to 25 lakh rupees. means for there is a punishment for the violation of this act. If any offense is committed by the companies, in that case the person whosoever in charge the business and affair of the company will be responsible for they, and that they will be punishable accordingly. Regarding the cognizance of the offense which is mentioned under section 22, it says that no court shall cognizance of an offense under this act except on a complaint made by the appropriate authority or made by a person with the notice. Meaning thereby, if a complaint is filed by the appropriate authority or any authorized person, and a person and a person who has given 60 day minimum 60 days notice to the to the authority against any person with the intention to make complaint, in that case only the court of metropolitan magistrate and judicial magistrate will take the cognizance under this act to try the case. Where a complaint has been made under subclause B, means under the notice of 60 days, the court may direct the appropriate authority to make available copies of the relevant record in the possession of the such persons. So, as in the case of Jeevan Kumar Rot versus CBI, AIR 2019 says that although under CRPC, the CBI, upon completion of investigation and upon obtaining remand of the accused from time to time, is required to file a police report, it is precluded from doing so by reason of provision contained in section 22 of the act, means complaint by the appropriate authority and by a person under 60-day notice is sufficient. As in the case of OP Mahajan versus State of Punjab, it says that by virtue of section 22, a complaint can be filed and not a FIR, and therefore an FIR cannot replace a criminal complaint for which process under section 200 and 204 CRPC has been prescribed and needs to be mandatorily followed, which is amiss in the present offences under the act. Meaning thereby, as per section 22 of the act, a person who has given notice of not less than 60 days in the prescribed manner to the appropriate authority can make a complaint. Upon sanctioning being granted in his favor, however, the complaint has neither given proper notice of the 60 days nor sought permission from the appropriate authority or the state government, he is therefore not authorized to make the complaint. Meaning thereby, if a person wants to make a complaint with this intention, he has to give a notice of 60 days, and intention has to show. If the notice is not given, in that case it will not be considered the complaint. So this is all about the regulation restriction of the hospitals, offences and punishment. The next topic I will discuss the new act, that is the Preconception Prenatal Diagnostic Technique Prohibition of Sex Selection Act 1994. Thank you. Thank you very much.